It says we're recording, so we're ready to go. All right, I'm Scott Stansfield. If you've been in network marketing for any length of time, you already know who I am. But for those of you that may not, I'm doing this call from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm visiting my daughter, who's out there. I'm in a little town called Freeport. If you're not familiar with Freeport, it's where dreams go to die. There's not much to say about Freeport other than that. But I'll be 71 Christmas Eve, and I've been doing network marketing for 50 years. Yes, 50 years, it's a long time. Dinosaurs were roaming the earth when I was doing networking. I actually started networking when I was 16. Joined a little company called Amway, and I was going to take and make my fortune in Amway. I wasn't quite old enough to join. I talked my father into signing me up, and I was going to make my $1 million in Amway in the first couple years or so and retire wealthy. And so he had to sign me up because I wasn't quite old enough yet. So he was going to sign me up, and when I turned 18, I'd already made my $1 million. I was going to pay him back, and we were going to be good. Didn't quite work out that way, but I've been around networking a long time. Enough said. The reason I tell you that is I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the way beyond ugly in network marketing. I've seen it all. I've seen every kind of comp plan, including comp plans are so simple you can do them on a cocktail napkin. And comp plans, you'd have to have a doctorate in statistics and mathematics to begin to understand them. You'll love this, by the way. This is a very, very simple comp plan on this company. But before we even get started, I want to cover just a couple things that I think are critical. If you're on this call, you're a professional networker. You're on this call because you believe there's an opportunity here, or you've heard about an incredible product, and both are there. But one of the things that we try to do in networking is we try to find a product that fits what I call the bed principle. Now, what's the bed principle? Well, B is it has to be believable. Okay, so the product that we're talking about here is a product that you already have. Your cell phone's very believable. As a matter of fact, it's the most precious thing you have, other than perhaps your wife, and there are some people out there that would trade the wife for the cell phone if they had to make a choice.
Ooh.
We don't need to we don't need to worry about whether the product's believable. The second thing is the E. Is it exclusive? And you're going to find that cell phones are not exclusive. This particular cell phone is unbelievably exclusive, and we're going to cover why in detail. The second thing is it duplicatable? Well, you don't even need to worry about that. And the reason for that is everybody on this call has a cell phone. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what network marketing business you're in. Unless you're looking at somebody's pearly whites, you are talking on a smartphone. So we don't need to worry if it's duplicatable. It is absolutely imminently duplicatable. Verizon alone, I'm told, has about 87.5 million people on cell phones. That's one company. That's one company. If we took 0.5% of the cell phone market that was out there, we would all be liquid millionaires if you're on this call right now. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to take and kick this off right from the beginning. Terry, mute yourself out. You got some background noise there. And we are on the way. There we go. Now I can see me. I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a company. We're going to talk about a company that's about $200 million. We're going to talk about a company that's 10 years in the making. Yes, they make a cell phone. No, that's not their product. It's no secret at this point in time that all of us out there are concerned about our privacy. It's not something that we take for granted anymore. We used to, and before we start, let me tell you what. You are not entitled to secrecy in this country. We're way past that. You are not entitled to secrecy. However, you are entitled to privacy, and we don't have that. We have what's called a panopticon, and if you're not familiar with that word, let me give you an illustration that best explains it. If you were to walk into your nearest federal prison, you will find in the center is the guards area, the control area. Okay, they control everything that goes on in the periphery, all around them. They are the panopticon. It's a few that are controlling the many. Okay. Well, we have a panopticon in government right now and in privacy as it relates to our communication, because everything you do is really being controlled by a few. Now, when you're on your cell phone today, most of us realize, and if you don't, your emails are being saved, your conversations are being saved, and they can be monitored at will. Everything you do on that phone, everybody else can access. You say, well, not really. Yeah, really. If you're on a cell phone and you send something through Google, whether it's an email, a chat, a picture, you need to understand something. You have about 200 people that have access to that. Well, if that's the case, I'll take the personal stuff and I'll just delete it off my phone. Okay? It's good for saving space, and you can delete it off your Google Drive. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to delete it off the cloud. And Google owns the cloud. You see, no matter what you do, if you ever place that information on there, it's permanently there. You cannot replace it. That includes every text you have, every communication you have, every cute private note you sent to that sweetheart in your life, and every picture that should only be seen by the recipient of the picture, a special picture from a husband to a wife or whatever the case may be. If you send it, 200 to 300 people have access to it. Now, if you send it via an iPhone, you have a double problem, because you send it on Google, the cloud now, the Google has access to it, and you send it through your iPhone, iCloud has access to it. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm really not. I'm not a big fan of government either. I just want to be left alone. I really, truly just want to be left alone. I want my email to be private. I want my information to be private. I want my data to be private. I want my pictures to be private. I just really want my life to be private. Finally, just once. And if you're on this call, that's probably important to you. And that's what this is all about. You see, if I were to tell you that at midnight tonight, a group of armed men were going to break into your house, and it would go down like this. They were going to sneak in through the back door. Now, the problem is they found where you left the key. So they're not going to break the door down and wake you up, but they're going to sneak in your house, and they're going to go through your drawers. They're going to go through your desk. They're going to go through your file cabinet. They're going to find your banking information. They're going to go through your bedroom. They're going to find out all the stuff that goes on between you and your wife that you've ever discussed. When they get done with that, they're going to go in there into your children's room. They're going to go through your 17-year-old's diary. Now, they have a name for that diary, by the way. It's called Facebook. And they're going to take all this information, and they're going to quietly walk out of your house, and they're going to put the information for sale. If you're lucky, they'll sell it to a legitimate buyer. If you're not so lucky, it'll end up on the dark web. And if you want to know how pervasive that is, I promise you I can go into the dark web, and for $1.25 a piece, I can buy credit cards and expiration dates. If I want to spend $2 or $2.25, I can buy your credit cards. I can buy your banking information that goes with the credit cards. And if I want to max out about $3.50, I can buy your credit cards, your banking information, your credit report. I can buy your life. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. You can go onto the dark web and you can buy credit cards, 10,000 at a time. And you wonder why you're getting hacked? It's very simple. Now, these people didn't steal this information. You gave it to them. You gave it to them. Because if you have one of these, every app on this phone, you had to agree to the terms and conditions. Now, here's what I can tell you about how this thing works. The big print giveth, and the little print taketh away. In the big print, the first thing you saw was, your privacy is so important to us. It is critical. We're going to protect your privacy, Rob, because we are your biggest fans. And let me tell you what the little print on page 3 said. However, question mark, you give us permission to do this and this and this and this. And in that app, and most of the apps on your phone say, we require the use of your camera. We require the use of your, to access your system. We want to be able to access your files. We want to be able to access your contacts. And if you go through the permissions of the apps that you have on your phone that you take for granted every day, you wonder, why does a program that's just supposed to help me figure something on my phone need access to all this information out there? Why is that? Well, it's really simple.
Scott, hold on 1 minute. Scott, a lot of people are trying to get in and you have to,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here we go. All these people are blowing up my phone you got to let them in.
There we are.
So, okay. Fantastic.
There we are. Now, that's a good point, Terry. Thank you very much. That just goes to show you that the guy doing the call is probably not too bright, so you can do this too. So anyway, when you get the apps on your phone, they give you permission to do, the app gets permission to do everything. Now, why is that? Does the app need that information to work? No. It needs that information because the purpose of the app is to collect data. Now, here's something most people don't realize, and it would be terrifying if you did. When you go to Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, okay, whatever cell phone company you're going with, Oxygen in London, TrueMove in Thailand, okay, Vodafone in Germany, it doesn't make any difference. The phone company makes more money off the sale of the information and private data they collect from you that belongs to you. They make more money off that than they do the purchase of the phone, the finance of the phone, if they're charging interest at all, and most don't. They make more money off that than they do your monthly cell phone plan. Shocking. Here's how it works. I'm going to give you a little quick explanation, then we're going to get into the phone. I decide that I'm going to shop for a car. I'm going to shop for a 4-door Toyota or a 4-door Honda. About the third click, it gets picked up. Google picks it up. Opera picks it up. Whoever, Microsoft picks it up. Doesn't make any difference. It's going to get picked up by Oracle, by Bing, by Lycos. It's going to get picked up by people you didn't even know were out there picking up stuff. And they're going to start paying attention to what you're doing. When you're searching for that car, they're not only making a note of where you're going, but they're making a note of what web page you looked at and how long you stayed on that page. When you went to that configure the car page, they're especially interested because you gave them the color, you gave them everything. But you're not really buying the car. You're not at a dealership, so it's safe. You're going to be okay. No, not really. Because they're going to take this information and they're going to sell that to Toyota or Honda at a nice price. Okay, so it's no big deal. They know I'm searching and I want to buy a car. What's the big deal? Oh, that's just the beginning, people. The next thing they do is they're going to go through and they're going to get your financial information. Well, what financial information? People, stop and think about this. You put everything through your phone. It doesn't have to stay on your phone. It just has to go through your phone and it's on a cloud. If you could go and see everything that you have that you think nobody knows about and nobody can ever find that is public record on a cloud, you would be horrified. So they're going to get your financial information. Can you afford this car? Then they're going to go look for your insurance information. Why is that? Because they want to know who your insurance is with and how much you're paying. Well, that's not on my phone. Really? Your insurance agent never sent you a confirmation thing of your policy? He never sent you a quote? I bet he did. After that, they're going to go after your health information in some cases. Why is that? Well, we want to make sure you're going to be healthy enough to make 62 or 72 months worth of payments. When they get all done with that, they're going to go after your credit information. And they don't need to pull a credit report because they probably have all they need already. And by the way, if people do want to pull a credit report, I know they have to have your permission, but it would scare you how many people will pull it without your permission. They just don't bother to tell you. Then when they get all done with that, they're going to start pulling your kids' information. Oh, wait a minute. Time out. Stop. Why would they want my kids involved? Because they want to see if you have a 17-year-old taking driver's ed or a 16-year-old taking driver's ed, a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, or 19-year-old son or daughter that's about to need a car, because they want to know if you got the wherewithal to finance them, and that's part of the information package. Now they're going to bundle this little joy all up, this little information package of love that you didn't give anybody permission to take. They're going to bundle it all up, and they're going to go sell it to the highest bidder. And like I said, you hope they sell it to the right person. And they're going to sell it anywhere, $20, $200, doesn't make any difference. This information is incredibly, incredibly valuable. And you didn't give them permission to do that, did you? Oh, yes, you did. Via your cell phone and your apps. But what if something started out as a concept? What if it started out as a concept and somebody said 10 years ago, why should we allow this? This is not okay. What about if we gave people an option to keep their own data and they didn't have to sell it and nobody could claw it out and take it from them without their permission? Welcome to Clear. This is the Clear phone. This is what this is all about. Is this a phone? Yes, it's a phone, but it's far more than a phone. It's far more than a phone. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this phone. You have a cell phone. Most of us take most of our pictures on a cell phone. An iPhone has a 40 megapixel camera. It's got 3 cameras on it. This little gem has 4, and it's got a processor powerful enough to stitch those 4 cameras together to create a 108 megapixel photograph. You have never seen photographs until you've seen a photograph that comes off this sucker. It is absolutely stunning. So in terms of the camera, we'll compete with anybody out there. The next biggest thing you have is your processor. Does your phone really have some horsepower behind it? I believe the latest iPhone uses an A12 Bionic A12C, and I believe the latest Samsung uses a Snapdragon 875/1. Just saying. Okay, so the processor here is a Helios P60. It's a very, very robust processor. The second thing or third thing you're going to be concerned about is battery life. Well, here's an iPhone Pro Max. Okay, Pro Max Plus, got a 4,020 milliamp battery. There's 5,000 milliamp battery in the 620, and a battery that's bigger than that in the 420. So in terms of screen performance, resolution, in terms of battery life, in terms of overall performance, this little phone right here will hold its own against anything in the market. But that's not why you buy this phone. That's not why you buy this phone. You buy this phone so that you don't need to worry about what your phone is doing to you. You want to start paying attention to what this phone is doing for you. This is the keep you safe phone. This is the end of the data problem phone. This is to keep your kids safe. This is to keep your kids safe. This is to keep your teenage daughter from being prowled out there by somebody who's supposedly a 19-year-old kid that happens to be a 54-year-old guy. So you're buying this phone for privacy. Now, when you buy it, you are going to get a state-of-the-art phone. So let's talk about your buying experience when you go to a typical phone store. And see, these things are important. I'm not on a rabbit trail here. I don't have dementia and Alzheimer. Pay attention. We're going somewhere with this. We really are. When you go into AT&T, you go into Sprint, you go into Verizon, and you're setting up your account, they want your social security number or your unsocial insecurity number. They want your driver's license. They want to know who you are. Why is that? Because this iPhone right here is registered to you. It's registered to a legal identity, and the government has that identity. And anytime they need your records, they know exactly where to get it. Now, I'm not suggesting anybody on this phone call would do anything wrong. That's not the point. But you still want your privacy. Now, 2 days ago, I talked to a guy, and he said, Scott, he says, I'm really excited about the concept of the phone, but the privacy thing's really not important to me. And I said, I get that. What kind of phone do you have? He said, I've got a new Samsung, whatever it was, the latest, brightest Samsung phone. I said, let me see your phone for a minute. I took his phone. I said, give me your password. He said, what do you mean? I said, I need your password. He said, for what? I said, so I can get onto your phone and ask you for your password to get in your Gmail. I'm not giving you my password to get on that phone and get in my Gmail. I said, whoa, time out. Did you not just say you weren't worried about privacy? Of course you are. Of course you are. That's why you're going to buy this phone, when you understand what it does. So when you go into the phone company, that phone is registered to you. Now, when you go and you buy a Clear phone, the Clear phone is not registered to you, because you can buy this phone. They're not asking you for your credit report. They're not asking you for your driver's license. They're not asking you for your social security number. They're asking you for a shipping address. And that could be a post office box if that's what you want. Now, why is it they don't need that? Because to ask for that would violate the very beginning and basic tenets of why you bought this phone to begin with. So who is the phone registered to? And by the way, there are 3 different phones. There is a 220, and if you can see this, notice the time, 2:20 p.m. There is a 440. The time is also, or 420, the time is 4:20 a.m. And there is a 6:20 p.m. Now, these phones come in 4 colors. They come in pearl white. They come in white pearl. They come in whitish pearl and pearlish white. So you have that. Now, personally, I chose the pearl white. It's my favorite color of the 4. So when you get this phone, and I'm going to open up a box here. We're going to open up a box for a 220. The first thing you're going to see when you open up the box is you're going to see this little insert right here. And I'm going to take it out. And I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. Now, it says on the bottom, owner's name, do not give this information to anybody. Now, you'll notice there's a space for 24 words there. You're going to use 12 words just like you were going on to a Bitcoin blockchain. And who owns that phone? The person who owns the 12 words. Clear doesn't have any records. So if somebody were to go to the phone company and say, I'd like Tony's records or Scott Stansfield's records or Mark's records, Clear's going to say, if wishes were fishes, we could get together and have a fry, but we can't help you. Well, we really want the records. What's it like to want? We don't have any records to give you. Well, what about all the information stored in the cloud? Surely you've got all that. No, we don't keep a cloud. Really? How's that work? If you break a mirror or you break a wine glass, it breaks into little tiny sharp pieces. We call those shards of glass. If I take a social security number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I break it into 9 pieces, and I send each little letter to a different country, nobody in any country has my social security number. It's totally safe. And if I can recall it, I put it all back together again. That's called sharding. And we use the blockchain to do that, which means your information resides on 350,000 computers in 200 and some countries. Nobody has it all. Let's admit these people real quick before Terry yells at me. Anyway, so these people, no, these people don't, they just got in the Zoom call. Never mind. It's an ADD thing, folks. Hang with me. So your information's all over the place. But you have the ability with 12 words to pull it together again. Clear doesn't have it. Clear doesn't ask you for that information. That's the purpose of the phone. So from your very start, when you get the phone, it isn't even registered to you, and there's no record of anything that you put through this phone. Now, if you go on the internet, let me make something clear. If you go on the internet and you go to various places on the internet, that's public. They're going to know where you went, but they're not going to know what you did, and they're not pulling information out of your little junket. Now, how bad is it? My wife and I went to Walmart. I'm visiting my daughter. She said, Dad, can you go down and get me some little Christmas bulb hangers and about 24 more pretty Christmas bulbs? I was in Walmart, I don't know, 5 minutes. She told me exactly where to go. I was in and out the door. Before I got home, I had a thing on my phone. Would you rate your experience at Walmart? I never told anybody I was going to Walmart. I went through a cemetery 4 days ago. I had about 30 minutes free time, and I just wanted some quiet time. And Skull Orchard's pretty quiet. They don't talk much there. So I'm walking through, and I'm looking at the gravestones. I'm in Pennsylvania. It's an old cemetery. I'm looking at the dates. And as I'm driving home, Google wants to know how I enjoyed my time at the Natrona Heights Veterans Cemetery. Did I want to talk about it? No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want you to know I was there. I can't stop you from knowing that, but I can stop you from getting anything from it. That's the purpose of the phone. Now, the phone comes in 3 different models. There's a 220. This is the baby. This is the one that you're going to give. This is the one you're going to give to your teenagers. It's the one you're going to give to the grandparent that's in a nursing home that doesn't need a whole bunch of sophisticated features. It has all the privacy of every other phone out there. But that's the one you're going to give to someone that's kind of the junior phone, the starter phone. Now, when I say junior phone, I don't mean to say it's not an incredibly powerful phone. It has the same processor as the other ones do. It doesn't have the same resolution on the camera. It doesn't have the same resolution on the memory, but they all have the same processor. So they all work just as well. Now, the 420 is the medium step in this phone. And if I can get this very tight box undone, there we go. Now, when you get these phones, these phones are going to ship with a SIM card in there. And the SIM card is right here. This one has 2 SIM cards. This was the box for my 420. This phone right here came in this box. Now, you'll notice I have a SIM card upside down here, right here, and I have a blank SIM card here. This SIM card is not going to come with your phone. What's going to come with your phone here is a debit card. A debit card? That doesn't make any sense. Not ordinarily. When you go to Verizon and buy your phone, it doesn't come with a debit card. So why is your phone going to come with a debit card? Because these people know this phone has been so popular already that the company's been able to determine that when you buy this phone, you will have 3 additional referrals off that phone. They send you a debit card because that's how you're going to get paid. So you not only have a phone, you have a business in a box. Now, I want you to think about something. The greatest difficulty in network marketing is finding a product that is exclusive. There's every kind of whoopee juice out there. There's every kind of pills, potions, and lotion out there. What is it that comes along that is so unique that it's not only a paradigm shift within a market area, it's an entirely new market area. What's unique is you get your life back on a cell phone. This is the most dangerous thing you have. This is the most utilized thing you have. You are not leaving home without this. You're not leaving home without your cell phone or your car keys. Because without your car keys, you're not getting into your car. Thank you, David. Without your cell phone, you left your life behind. You can forget your wallet, but you're not going to forget this. And if you've forgotten your cell phone, be honest, guys. How many times did you go and turn around and go back to get it? Now, I want you to think about something for a minute, and this is really important. Why did you go back to get that cell phone that you left somewhere? Were you worried about where you left it? Were you worried about them really stealing it from you? No. Let me tell you at a gut level, at a visceral level, why you went back to get that phone. You went back to get that phone because subconsciously, you are not remotely comfortable with not the phone you left behind, with somebody having access to what was on that phone. That's what you were worried about. If you had no information on that phone that was of any consequence to you, you wouldn't be nearly as concerned. But without even realizing it, you are subconsciously uncomfortable with the concept that somebody could have access to what's on that phone. You don't need to worry about that anymore. So when you get this phone comes in 3 different models. It comes in a 220, a 420, and a 620. Now, a 220 and a 420 are basically exactly the same size. Here's a brand new 220. Here's a brand new 420. And if I lay them up, there is a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of a length difference there. Just a little tiny bit. Now, what size is this phone in actuality? Well, here's an iPhone 12. And if I lay them, it may not look like they're even on the end. They are, in fact, exactly even. This phone is basically identical to the size of an iPhone or a Samsung phone. It's virtually identical. But there is a phone out there called a 620. The 620 is a beast. It's a beast. And people love, 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 love this phone. When you get this phone, you are dealing with a phone. You are dealing with a phone that is not the same size as your iPhone. It is not the same size as your Samsung phone. It is considerably bigger. Now, is it unwieldy? No, it's not unwieldy at all. It's actually very comfortable to hold. It has a lot of real estate. If you're somebody who's doing networking, if you're somebody who's doing a lot of video stuff, if you're doing Zoom calls on a phone, if you happen to be 70 years old and your eyes are a little tired, you'd like some print a little bit bigger, it's a fabulous phone. It is a fabulous phone. Costs a little more. The people that have this phone so love the phone. Now, I recommend, and the company hates this because they don't produce as many 620s overall as they do regular phones, but I recommend if you're in networking that you consider getting the 620. Okay, like I said, it's not unwieldy. It really isn't. It's big, but it's not uncomfortable. Now, why would I recommend you get this phone? Because if you get a 420 or a 220, this is the 220, and you tell people there's a bigger phone out there, the first thing they say is, how big is it? Okay, and trying to describe how it feels in your hand or how big it is, I don't know, it's kind of like trying to describe the color sky blue to a blind man. It's a project. But if I have this phone right here and they like it, they go, wow, I really love this phone. I love the size of this phone. And people really do. If you'll notice, over the last 8 generations of phones, they're not getting smaller. They're getting bigger every time. Well, this is the record holder right here. So if they like that phone, you got yourself a fantastic sale. If they say, wow, it's a beautiful phone, it really is, but it's a little big. Do you have anything smaller? Well, we have a 420. Well, what size is that? It's the same size as the one you have right now. Oh, okay, I'll take that one. I can go down easier than I can go up. So let's talk about what these phones come with. The 220 comes with basic service. And the basic service for the phones is the same for every single phone. It's $40 a month. That includes unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Unlimited data. Okay, that's competitive with anybody, folks. $40 a month. Okay, could you find, Cricket maybe for a little less? Yeah, you get what you pay for. If you want a real phone, $40 is a bargain. The 220 and the 620, and there's your phone comparison right there. That's lined up. The 220 and the 620 have a different data plan. The data plan is $70. Wow, that's a lot of money. Depends on what you get. One of the things that people really, really struggle with is their health. And half the network marketing companies out there are marketing to people who are concerned about their health. This phone has the ability to press a button and it will do a scan. And before you say, wait a minute, everybody does a scan, okay? Got an iWatch, do a scan, check my heart rate, how many steps I went up and down. No. This doesn't do your heart rate and how many steps you went up and down. This does the oxygen level flowing through your body. It does the SpO2 oxygen level reaching your brain. Now, why is that important? Because if that starts to drop in a family member, that's your indication that you've got some serious mental problems, Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever, or stroke, coming down the road. It tells you your heart rate. Yes, it does. It tells you how many breaths you're taking on an average in a minute. It tells you your minimum and your maximum in your diastolic and systolic pressure. And then it gives you a stress readout. Wow. Even the 220 does this, by the way. All phones do this because Clear believes that everyone should have access to their vital information. Nobody else does that. To this degree, not anywhere close. Now, the interesting thing is, with any other phone, I have to be holding the phone, have my fingerprint on a sensor, touching the side button, have a watch. I can put this phone in a cell phone holder 2 feet away, and I don't have to touch this phone but to press start, and it will give me all that information. Now, by background, I have 2 medical degrees, and I'm a pastor. So I understand medicine. This was above my pay grade when I first heard this. I wasn't sure quite how this worked. It uses thermal imaging and infrared to detect the blood flow differences going in and out of your brain. Wow, pretty impressive. If I have a 220, I have that information. If I have a 440 or a 620, and I do my stress level and it's high, I press the button on my phone, it says, call the doctor. And I have an internist at my disposal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 days a month. It's included in my plan. Now, folks, if you have a family member or a sick one or a little one, and you can get a hold of a doctor, you can hold the phone up, do a stress test with your munchkin, and the doctor can see that information, or you can export it to him with a push of a button on a phone, and it saves you 1 emergency room visit. You just paid, on an average in this country, 7 monthly phone bills. 1 visit. Now stop and think about this. How often would you use a doctor if you didn't have to pay for it? Anytime you thought you had a problem, boom, done. Physicians are the #1 most requested thing in that arena. The second most requested specialty is a dermatologist. Why is that? I've got this creeping, crawling, crud-looking rash, and it's on me or it's on my baby, and it's in places it's not supposed to be. I got burned. Spent too long in the tanning bed. I've got some stuff going on in my face I don't understand. I've got some spots that are appearing. I want to know what this is all about. Second most utilized specialist is a dermatologist. By the way, he or she's on the phone too. It's not the same guy, by the way. These are dermatologist specialists. Now, they're on your phone. They're included in your plan. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 days a month. The third most requested specialist, and we're coming into the specialist season for number 3. Believe it or not, that's a therapist. Do you have any idea how many kids are committing suicide? If not, call your suicide prevention hotline and ask them. It is terrifying. And let me tell you what these kids don't do. They don't call mom and dad before they do it. Because if they could talk to mom and dad and they had an open line of communication they felt they could trust, they wouldn't need to commit suicide. But these kids are committing suicide. They're cutting. They're going to drugs. They're doing everything in the world. They're cutting because they're hurting. What's it worth to have your kid be able to press a button and say, sweetheart, what's going on? What's going on here? Talk to me. Let's see if we can work this out. Terry made a fortune with the previous company she was with. You know who that was. Because she took care of vets and they took care of her. I wouldn't want to know how many vets are wandering around today with PTSD that are struggling through their life, that are wondering if it's worth continuing because they haven't got any help and they don't know what to do. Folks, we're coming into the suicide season. As any crisis hotline will tell you, it's November 15th to January 10th. More suicides are committed by elderly that are left alone, by teenagers, by vets, by people that are worried about their finances, by wives that can't talk to their husbands and they have no one else to talk to, okay? By abuse. What would it be worth if you had a button on your phone and you could call a therapist 24/7, 7 days a week? And by the way, he wasn't the dermatologist or the physician. 3 specialties, $70 a month. Is that worth it? I don't know. Use one of them one time and you'll pay your phone bill for 7 months. That's included in a 420 or a 620. So you see, we don't have a phone. We have a whole different ballgame here. Now, I don't have to sell a phone. The phone will sell itself if people just know what it does. Because if you grasp the concept of, I want my life back, I want my privacy back, I want my data back, then you already know this is the answer right here. Now, the holy grail of network marketing, and correct me if I'm wrong somewhere, but after 50 years in this industry, the holy grail of network marketing is residual income. Now, what does that mean? That means the financial bus is going down the road, whether I got off it or not. It's still running down the road, creating and printing money. That's what everybody's looking for as the holy grail of network marketing. How many of you have quit your cell phone plan and stopped using your cell phone in the last, forget 10 years or 2.5 months? How many people have quit your cell phone in the last 10 years? And what about if you were continually getting paid on that usage of everybody around you? Now, let me tell you what I know about direct marketing. If you contact the DSA and you ask them, what is the average length of time somebody remains on an auto ship? Pills, potions, lotions, happy products, cosmetics, whoopee juice. They'll tell you the average time is 2.1 months. How long have you been on your cell phone? Because if you're on this phone and you get on this phone, here's what I know. I've got network marketing coming in for probably the next decade. I have residual income every month for the next 10 years. And if that isn't the holy grail of network marketing, folks, I don't know what is. The residual income does not stop. Does not stop. The average person remains with their carrier in excess of 10 years, and you get paid every single month. Wow. A product that everybody has, nobody can live without. You're not living without your cell phone anymore. Sorry. What's your option? Smoke signals on a clear day? Carrier pigeons? You're going to use your cell phone. And you're not getting rid of your cell phone. And as long as you're on your cell phone and you're not getting rid of your cell phone, guess what? My financial cash printing machine is working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Thank you very much. And I've kept you safe. So if that isn't the quintessential network marketing model, I don't know what is. And when a company's confident enough to send you a Visa or MasterCard with your cell phone tied to you through an entirely different company who has no records of how much money you got paid, it's not through Clear, it's through one of their entities, they know that the average person who buys this ends up with 3 referrals. Now stop and think about that. You tell 10 people you bought this phone, you have 30 people in your downline. And are they confident of that? Well, they're confident enough to send you a Visa or MasterCard so you can get paid, not if, but when. I mean, I don't know how you make network marketing better than that. But let's talk about what this phone does. Now, I'm going to jump on this iPhone real quick. Let me take it off airplane mode here. And I put it on airplane mode so it doesn't ring. There we go. So I'm on my iPhone. My messages are starting to come in. So I'm going to go onto my browser right here. And I'm going to go to, I don't know, let's go to CNN.com. Now, I'd be willing to bet most of you on this phone call probably spend more time at Fox, but I shouldn't even say that. Never mind. We're going to go to CNN. CNN loads up. Got all the stories. Oh, got all the ads. Got all that kind of good stuff. CNN.com. There she be right there. Let me turn off the rotate for you so you don't get seasick. There you go. Now, I'm going to go to CNN on a Clear phone. And we're going to see if there's, I don't know, maybe a little difference. Okay. Do we have anybody else trying to get in? No, we're good. Okay. So we're going to go to CNN on a Clear phone. Now, when you log into this phone, by the way, there's a fingerprint sensor on the back. That's really cool. Not really, Scott. Everybody's got a fingerprint sensor. They do. But how many have a fingerprint sensor that's tied to 500 and some positions on your face? Which means your fingerprint works perfectly. Just don't forget to bring your face. So I'm going to take and access. And by the way, this is a home screen on this phone. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to take my browser and I'm going to go to CNN.com. Latest breaking news. There we go. Now we got CNN on a Clear phone. But I want you to notice something. Do you see right here, see if I can do this in reverse. Do you see that little green button and that little purple button? You don't find that on any other phone in the world. I'm going to press the little purple button. And here's what it tells me. This program stopped 55 ads, trackers, malware, keystroke loggers from entering my phone. Now, when I scroll down through CNN on my phone, what you will notice is there's not a single ad. And the reason there's not a single ad is I didn't get on this phone to watch advertising. I got on this phone because I wanted something from the website. There are no ads here. Now, that applies to any site you go to. If we go to Amazon.com, Amazon online shopping, instant load to Amazon, we press our little purple button and we see that the ads and trackers are going up. They're attempting to load on the phone. That number that's increasing, that's your privacy decreasing. And many times you'll see the zero in green right below it. It's called an HTTPS upgrade. Now, if you're not familiar with it, http://www, that's a website address. HTTPS is a secure website. HTTP is not. And there'll be a little thing in your browser that shows you that. This phone will frequently stop somebody attempting to do an upgrade from insecure to secure. Well, what does that mean? That means whatever phone you have, Verizon or otherwise, is at least trying to do something to let you on secure sites. This phone found somebody that had an insecure site that was trying to create a secure site, or taking a site that you need to be on and make it more secure, and it's doing that automatically. Now, our Amazon, by the way, is still gaining. Our CNN is now up to 40 and still climbing. So my point is,
I think we should be honest about America's.
Oops.
I think we should be honest about America's supply.
I think we need to be honest about America. The talking head says, well, how do I know half these people on news media are lying? Their lips are moving. But anyway, so this phone is not just make your communication secure. A lot of people can do that. This phone is a different world. It's a different world. And so I'm not concerned about what my phone is doing to me anymore. I'm far more concerned about what my new phone is doing for me. Now, compensation plan. How do you get paid? How do you buy one of these things? If I decide, wow, this is the coolest phone in the world, it's cooler than cool. Where is it? There it is. If I want to buy one of these phones, how do I buy it? Well, let's screen share here. Let's go onto a website. Let's kind of walk through this here. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go to here, and we don't need to see Google Zoom right there. So we'll go to Chrome, and we're going to go to clear.store. Now you notice it's clear.store, and you need to tell people, pay attention to this, because what's going to happen is they're going to want to go to clear.store.com, and that's not going to work well for them. Clear.store. Okay. The brilliant Clear phone. You can watch the video. It's designed for a teeny bopper. Probably not going to work too well for most of you. Now, there are three phones, and here they are. The 220, the 420, and the 620. So let's talk about what they have in common. First of all, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, only 64. So there's your first difference. 64 gigabytes of storage that you don't have here. The processor, Helio P60, 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 that's all the same. There is a huge difference in the cameras. Now, in the rear, you have a 48.8 and a 2 and a 16 in the front. It takes the processor on these two phones with all of those cameras, stitches it together, and makes a 108 megapixel picture. Display size on this, 6.088 inches. 6.3, little tiny bit bigger, hardly enough to notice, 7.12. Now, from $49 a month. Okay, that's a phone that you're going to get younger people. It's a phone you're going to get your grandparents, because it's all they need. It's an incredibly powerful phone. $49 a month. Well, what does that include? That includes unlimited text, data, and the price of the phone. Well, that's a pretty good deal. $99 a month. What's the difference? Well, a much, much more powerful phone. That includes 3 medical specialties. And it includes the cost of the phone. And then you have $149. Now, I'm going to click on the order now, and let's take a look at what ordering a phone might be like. Okay. I can buy the 420 outright for $890. It's a $900 phone. Very reasonable. It'll compete all day long with $1,000 phones, $1,000 iPhones, Samsungs. But most people are going to buy it $99 a month. That includes everything you see here. The doctor, the dermatologist, the therapist. Oh, I forgot prescriptions. They're in there too. 24 months warranty, $6 a month. What's the warranty cover? Everything. So purchase plan. We're going to click on purchase plan. $99 a month. Now you'll notice there's a referral code right here. Do not use that code. Okay. Unless I happen to personally sponsor you. Now, when we go down here, what we're going to do, ClearMed and telehealth is free. It's included. If I click add to my cart, look at what it wants. Also look at what it doesn't want. It wants the email, your name, your shipping address, your city, your zip. There's the referral code. And what are you going to spend up front? You're going to take the first and last month on this phone, $99, or the first and last month on a 420, $49, or the first and last month on a 620, $149. Destination fee, first and last month payment up front, $198. So that's how hard it is to buy a phone. Now, you'll notice that they did not ask me for my social security number. They didn't ask me for anything. So I'm going to stop that for a minute. That's how hard it is to buy a phone. Now, you'll notice that since they didn't ask me for my social security number or my personal information, do you realize they don't have a way to pull my credit? What does that mean? That means the company's got enough confidence in the product that they're financing you, and it doesn't make any difference if you got a 390 credit score. Now, I'm going to stop for 1 minute. Hope the company doesn't hear this. But do you realize how many people would love to get a really nice phone and they don't have the credit to do it with a major carrier? They're your new customer and they have no other option. And if they do have so-so credit, it's not completely trashed, and they go to Verizon and they want the new Samsung, okay, $1,000+. They want the new iPhone, $1,000+, and the credit's not up to par. They said, oh, no, we'll get you in this phone. That's no problem. You need 775 of the 1,100 up front, and then we'll get you into your phone. Well, can't do that. You can with Clear. So no matter what your situation is, with first and last month on your phone bill, they're going to give you the phone up front for $198. But let me tell you the really cool thing. When you go into Verizon and you buy phone service and your plan is $70 a month times 24 months, because you bought a new phone, they finance it over 24 months. So they got you for 24 months. You're going to spend $1,650 on your phone plan. Then you add on to that $1,130 for your new supercalifragilistic iPhone 12, and you just spent $3,100 with the phone company. Now, they don't tell you, hey, Scott, congratulations. We really appreciate you spending $3,000 with us. That's what people do every day. They do that with a Samsung. They do that with an iPhone. And people aren't going to spend $1,100 on a phone. Are you kidding me? Samsung just came out with their Fold Z2. It's $1,999, and they are short on supply already. People will spend $2,000 on a phone to get the latest, cleanest, neatest, whitest, brightest phone. Folks, this is it. Ask me if I think this is the golden cow, the golden duck, the golden goose, the golden elephant of network marketing. A residual income that doesn't quit, a comp plan that pays you a fortune, a product that everybody needs, everybody already has, everybody all wants a better one. And by the way, when they get your phone, they're not leaving because there's nowhere else in the world to go to get the phone that does what they already have. It redefines a captive audience. It doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't. Now, going back to real quickly, and we'll wrap this up. We're going to go back to share screen. We're going to go there. We're going to go back. There's our purchase plan. We're going to go and we're just going to buy the phone outright. What do I need to do? I need to spend $49 times 2 gets you a $220. $99 times 2 gets you a $420 with 3 doctors at your disposal, the scan program, and everything else. And $149 gets you the $620. It's just that simple. That's pretty much all there is. Now, questions about what you need to add to the phone. If you went down and you spent $1,100 on a new cell phone, which is what you're going to spend if you buy a new Samsung, a new iPhone, the first thing you bought was a case. $29 to $49. If you bought a leather one, it could be $75. You don't need to buy a case with this phone. It's already included. The second thing you probably bought with that phone was a rapid charger, unless you wanted your phone to charge all night. You bought a rapid charger. Most phones do not come with a rapid charger. The rapid charger is included with this. If you didn't have a really, really good set of headphones, you don't need to worry about that because they're included with your phone. The fourth thing you probably bought was the extended warranty that covered your phone for breakage. Okay, you bought that. Now that was anywhere from $9 to $18 a month, depending on your phone. You don't need to worry about that because that's included in your monthly plan. So if I don't have to buy a case, I don't have to buy a rapid charger, I don't have to buy headphones, I don't have to buy insurance on my phone, start subtracting that off your $70 bill. Use one of the specialists on there, a physician, a dermatologist, or a therapist. One time, you just paid your bill for the next 7 months, most likely. When you get down to it, there is no program like this that does what this does. Nothing. And guys, we've got a lock on it right now because this phone is not going to be released to Johnny Lunchbucket and Mary Housewife. There's not going to be any external advertising or anything done on this phone until February of 2021. Now, that's my song and dance, folks, and I'm sticking to it. I've never seen a company like this. When I first heard what this phone did, I said, really? Come on now. Because in terms of technology, there's hardware. That's if you can kick it and it stubs your toe, it's hardware. There's software. If you can bend it, flop it, or do something with it, it's software. And then there's a thing called vaporware, which is somewhere in between. It's not really hardware because we haven't quite built it yet. It's not software because it doesn't do anything. It's a concept car. I got on a plane and they would have flown me out there. I've been a 7-figure income earner in this industry. Okay, multiple times over. They would have flown me out there. I don't want somebody to fly me out there. I had people offer to pay me to go out there. I don't want somebody paying me to go out there because I don't want to be responsible for having to feel like I had to join a company because I was responsible to someone for something. I paid my own airfare out there and back. I sat with the president. I sat with the IT guys. I sat with customer service. I sat with the chief technology officer, and I asked all the hard questions. And I've got a really good background in technology as well. I went out there. The last day I was out there, my final meeting ended at 10:40 p.m. over dinner. And I came back, and I knew that I had found the mother lode and the holy grail of networking. I believe that's what you have here. If you believe as I believe, you just found the best network marketing opportunity that has ever existed since the cell phone was created. Doesn't get any better than this. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of people already buying your product. You don't need to sell them on why they need a phone. I do need to sell them on why they should drink Whoopie Whoopie juice. Food for thought. Anyway, that's it. There's lots of questions out there that are unanswered. I want you to understand, you guys are at the leading edge of things. Okay. The public doesn't get this until February. We're not even in pre-launch yet. We're in wannabe launch. Now, how long is it going to take to get these phones? If you place an order for phones before we run out of the initial shipment, and they are going fast, that's not a sales presentation. Some of you will find that out the hard way if you spend a lot of time waiting. If you order now, you can get all 3 models of phone because they started with 5,000 phones pre-made. That's what you're running off right now. Now, can they scale up? They're already making 500,000 a month, and they're getting ready to double and triple that. We'll put 1 million of these phones in people's hands just in 2021 alone. And that's the beginning. That's the beginning. You will see people that will be making 100,000 a month. You will see people making 500,000 a month. You will see people in this industry making 1 million a month and multiple figures every month. Every month. It might as well be you. It doesn't get any simpler than this, doesn't get any easier than this, doesn't get any more convenient than this. And by the way, 2 websites I want you to pay attention to. I'm going to share the screen, go to one of them so you'll see what it looks like. Okay, we're going to go here, and I want to go here, and I want to go to WHY, like why not, whyclearphone.com. Now, when you get there, you're going to see the Clear United YouTube channel. You're going to see these wonderful videos. If you press the play all button, it will start walking you through. These will explain why the phone, what it does, why it's different, don't be tracked, what this phone is doing for you. But I want you to watch the first 3 videos especially. And then I want you to watch the last video, Clear Community. Why Clear Community? How many of you on this line are sick and tired of Facebook? You're sick and tired of the hate speech. You're sick and tired of the ugly. You're sick and tired of the language. Okay, just the evil and foulness that's on Facebook. And we've had to put up with it because there has been no other option. Now there is. Everything you can do on Facebook, you can do on Clear Community. And here's the deal. Nobody's getting on your Clear Community channel. Nobody's getting on that channel without you knowing it through someone else. What I want you to see there is I want you to see the quality of those videos. Watch the first 3. Put Clear Community on there, which is the last one. And let me tell you how I market this phone. Dear Bob, I have enclosed 4 videos. They will take you 8 minutes to watch. If you're a technical freak, it's 8 minutes and 4 seconds. These 8 minutes will change your world. These 8 minutes will give you back your life. You will have questions. Call me when you do. Scott Stansfield, phone number and email. That's all I do. That's all you need. The videos will explain it for you. If they don't get the concept of why this is important, then you're dealing with a guy that has an IQ between avocado and tomato. I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know. That's it. And if you want to know what these programs are that are downloading onto your phone that this is blocking, I went to CNN and I was horrified to find out that of the 40-some things that were trying to load on my phone, either 3 or 4 were adult content porn sites. From CNN? No, CNN's not putting them on there. They're linking onto CNN when you load your phone. Now, why would you do that? Why would somebody be despicable enough to put something like that on somebody's phone? It's very simple. It's not for you. Maybe it is. Hopefully not. It's for your kids. Because that young, impressionable 17-year-old girl or young, impressionable 17-year-old son is going to click on that out of curiosity. And most people don't realize when you load an adult content site in the first 9 seconds, 99% of the sites load a keystroke logger. Now, what's a keystroke logger? Just what it says. It logs every keystroke you do. Why would somebody do that? Well, it's real simple. I put a keystroke logger on your phone. The next time you sign into your email, got your email and your password. Next time you sign into your bank, got your bank account and your password. Next time you go to sign into that private whatever, got your private whatever and your password. Folks, we live in a dangerous time. It's time to put an end to this. It is time to stop this nonsense. And if not now, when? And regardless of your political persuasion, that doesn't make any difference. This is not about your politics. This is about your privacy. Now, for the rest of you, hopefully there's been some good that's come out of this phone call. I know that the brain can only absorb what the butt can endure. And I'm really sorry to go so long, but there's not a way to really do this much faster and get all the information you need across. You're still going to have questions. And by the way, we're still putting things together with this. This phone is being updated every single day. We're in meetings with the top people. There are 5 of us that are in meetings with the president of the company, with the technology officers every single day, making sure that this is rolling out perfectly the way it should. But here's the good news. Clear's not a new company. They're not a new dog. They've been around a long time. The concept is new, the phone is new, but they've spent 10 years working on this. They didn't throw this together to be another Me Too product. It's unique. And it's unique to you right now because nobody else has it. Run with it if that's what you're going to do. If not, just buy the phone. You really need one.